Hello and welcome to Tiger Esports. This is Coach Corrigan and thank you for joining us today for our quarterfinal game against Brophy. We are just getting into the lobby right now. We are going to bring you to our picks and bans. So for those that are new to esports, sorry, give us 1 second here as we reset. League of Legends is a game that starts with picks and bans. Each team gets to scout the opponent and decide what are some champions they don't want their opponent to be playing. And they take turns picking their champions for the game. So thank you for joining us today. We'll be shoutcasting this game, explaining what's going on to you, and cheering on our Tigers as we face on Brophy in these quarterfinals.
Hi viewers, this is your shoutcaster Brian Bennett reporting in live from the lab in Gilbert High School. Currently, as Coach said, we were just going through the picks and bans. So how they're doing that? Boy.
So far, looks like Brophy, we've got to switch these sites. So Brophy has first started out banning 2 of our ADCs. They've banned Aphelios and Twitch, which makes sense. Christian has an amazing record on both of those champions throughout the entire season. And they also targeted our support a little bit. They're banning Seraphine, which is another great pick for Valicio, but looks like Gilbert's picking Yumi.
Yep. Last game, Seraphine was a big one, and so were the other 2. Or did he play those other 2?
No, those 2 were banned on Tuesday as well. So it looks like Gilbert is going to first pick that bot lane, going with a Caitlyn Yumi, which is going to be really strong. Yumi will protect Caitlyn like no other.
That's a classic combo right there.
Yeah, absolutely. Caitlyn has great range. She has a sniper that it can cause a lot of damage as her ultimate. So that's going to be a really good set. Looks like Brophy has picked Jinx, so they also went out and picked their ADC first.
Nice. And Sejuani would be what, top lane?
No, that's going to be their jungler. Which Sejuani is really good because she does have a stun. She can have really good movement speed. Yes, ooh, that Ornn. That's definitely one of our top laners' favorite picks. But I think Gilbert was expecting that. So we'll see what they're going to be picking. Gilbert did start out with some bans on that bot lane as well. They banned, I believe that's, oh goodness, I can't tell. Neela and Zeri, which are both ADCs, and then they banned Thresh, which was support.
Yep. Right. What was that next ban?
So Gilbert looks like they picked Skarner, and I believe that's going to be jungle.
Yeah, I think that too. But they already have their jungle. Ooh, Nautilus, that's top lane, right?
No, that's a support.
I haven't memorized everything yet. I'll get on it.
Gilbert's definitely focusing that bot lane still. Even though Brophy has already picked their ADC, they're still banning out some of those support champions.
Tom Kench. That's a big one as well.
It is. Top Kench is normally played in the top lane, and that is one of Jacob's champions. And Gilbert comes in with their final ban, which is that Rise. Rise, I believe, is mid.
I have no idea.
That one I don't know. I don't play Rise a whole lot.
Yeah, you're more of an expert than I am. All right. So each team are 3 characters in the choosing, and Brophy has one more ban, which they get rid of Malphite.
So that's another top lane. So given that Gilbert had already picked their bot lane and their jungle, they're really going to focus that top lane, and it looks like Gilbert's going to go with Shen.
All right. Both teams seem to be focusing specific points while getting 1 or 2 additional bans, but mostly, yeah, they've been picking and choosing specific bans, top lane or bottom lane, so they know the strengths of each team. Good research is a part of the game. All right.
All right, so it looks like Brophy comes in with their final 2 picks. Azir, what's going to be in the mid lane, and then Milio for that support.
He looks like a support, so I assume.
He's a relatively new champion. I want to say he came out last year, has a great shield and health that can provide for his team. His ult does have quite a bit of stun, I believe. So it's going to be a great game in that bot lane. They both have these, most ADCs are going to be your range champions, which Obviously, they're supposed to be, but they both are going to have really great protection, which is going to make that bot lane really interesting.
Agreed. Both teams are just preparing their loadouts, choosing their skins, and just generally prepping themselves for the big game. It's quarterfinals after all.
Absolutely. And those that have joined us, feel free to join us in the chat. Leave us some comments, cheer on our Tigers as they go into these quarterfinals. Our team is super excited to be playing. They've had an amazing season so far, and just really hoping to extend it a little bit further. For those that are new to League of Legends, right now they are 15 seconds away from loading into the game. They're picking what's called summoners, which are really long cooldown abilities like health or a flash or a teleport. You have to pick those before a game. And we are going to get put on a 3-minute spectator delay. So Riot, in an effort to allow spectators to have the whole view of the game, puts us in a delay so that we don't give an unfair advantage to our team, because we will get to see the entire map. We will see all of Brophy's movements, as well as Gilbert's, where every champion is located, where their vision is located, where they are headed, what they are pinging. So we get a full view of the entire match, which would obviously be an unfair advantage to us.
Agreed.
If we were in spectating live. So you may hear noises from our team cheering and so on. They are 3 minutes ahead of us, so just hang on and we'll catch you up.
A lot can happen in 3 minutes of a game.
Oh my gosh, so much can happen in those 3 minutes. So we are going to put on some music, and we'll be back in just a couple minutes. Thank you for joining us.
Also share the link so more people can join. Yippee!
Yeah, absolutely.
Don't you go. You make my every cell flow, my every breath slow and go. Yeah, that's how you make me feel I'm yours. You bring me up when I hear only radio static. Play me a song on repeat. Right now, you hit me like chemicals. I doubt I'm ever gonna let you go. To come down feels like a bitter antidote. Never let go, never let go, no. Right now, hit me like chemicals. Right now, never gonna let you go. To come down like a bitter antidote.
All right, so we are now in our loading screen. As soon as the game loads, we'll be on the map, ready to see what the team's up to.
And you can take a quick look at some players' skins. You can tell how well they play the character, how many times, stuff like that, based on the skin. Plus, you always want to put your time and effort into a character you like, and that comes with skins.
Yes, it does. Skins are just cosmetic. They don't actually give you any sort of advantage when it comes to the game. Usually doesn't take this long, so hopefully this is not a bad sign for us because sometimes the system does glitch out.
Yeah.
So give us just a couple minutes, we'll be back. So, looks like Brophy had a challenge with one of their players. Their game did not load, so they are paused. And because of that delay, since the game has been paused for the players, our game is not going to load until they resume the game. So, hopefully, fingers crossed, knock on wood, it doesn't glitch out our spectator view. But as soon as they go back into the game, we will let you know. Brophy is still trying to reconnect. The nice thing is that because the game hadn't officially started, they had just loaded into the map and one of their players didn't load. If necessary, we can remake and just go through the exact same picks and bans. Both teams, follow an honor system, which is really great about esports. We play from our campus, but everyone, has great sportsmanship and follows through with when those scenarios try to come up. So we'll keep you posted as soon as we hear from both Brophy. It looks like he is loading in now, and hopefully we can get our spectator view back up. So give us just a few minutes. Thanks, everyone.
Don't you know, we all need someone to love me, someone to make it feel like home. You make me feel I'm home. You bring me up when I hear only radio silent. Play me a song on repeat. You hit me like right now. You hit me like chemicals. I doubt I'll never gonna let you go. To come down feels like a bitter antidote.
All right, so the game has loaded in, and
It worked.
it worked, except now it's frozen. Oh, come on.
All right, so we'll just give it a minute. It usually comes back.
All right, now we're back.
Hey, all right, so as you can see, the camera is going to go back and forth between our two teams. Blue side is Brophy, red side is Gilbert. Both teams are just headed to their map. So right at the beginning of the game, they're waiting for things to come up. Looks like Gilbert has placed a vision ward and just kind of our usual starting points. Gilbert sometimes tries to go for an invade, which is, trying to catch out the other team, but it doesn't look like they're going to do that today.
Interesting. Yeah, the last game they did do that both times. Didn't manage to get it, so it looks like they're changing it up a bit. Yeah, just start the game, set up wards, buy starting items, and emote because you're bored, apparently.
Yeah, a little bit of dancing.
All right. Minions have now spawned, so soon the action will begin.
Yes, and this is when they will start heading a little bit towards their lanes, depending where they're at. So it looks like Orange is kind of checking out the space and sees the Shen is right there. Usually most people are not going to try to engage this early unless they feel like they have an advantage.
Agreed. And yeah, jungler is starting to jungle, grab the camps, grab the blue monster, get some mana advantage. And
it looks like Gilbert decided to leash a little bit, which means they stay there to help out their jungler to take down that mana, that blue buff a little bit faster. Early on, everyone's pretty weak, so it does take a little bit longer to get all of their minions and things going on.
And yeah, just the first couple minutes of the game is CSing, which is just wearing down minions and getting gold, so that way you can, that's some damage there. That way you can buy items and level up because you gain experience from killing things.
Yeah, so CS, you don't actually get any of the gold until you take out one of those minions, but you're the last hit. So if you hit it and you take it to half-life, you don't really get anything for it. So right now, all champions right now, their goal is to focus on that CS, focus on getting those last hits, while at the same time poking each other out.
Agreed.
Causing some damage, just making it difficult to get that CS. You don't get your ultimate ability until you get to level 6.
Looks like we got a gank here.
We've got a fight going on in the bottom.
They got a flash, and a little too far there, but did manage to take off some health, which will be useful because they might have to back, or they're catching him out, and looks like they're chasing him down in the river. But now, nope, never mind. We are good, but more fighting happening. That's two flashes, and that's first blood to Gilbert.
And that is awesome. They were able to take out the ADC for Brophy, which is huge. Once you take out one of the champions, they're going to have a counter where they have to come back to life, which is denying the ADC from that experience and from that extra golden lane. Early on, that is a huge thing, because if Gilbert's ADC is able to get ahead, that's going to give him a huge advantage. That first blood going on that mid lane is also going to help that mid lane from Gilbert get ahead.
Bottom lane, or the mid lane.
Action.
The mid
Action
laner
came down and helped out that bot lane, which was really great because I don't think Brophy was expecting it. Jungle had just been there, mid went down and surprised them. Looks like we have a fight in top lane. Again, just trying to chunk each other down. Shen really causing some damage for that orange.
Gank coming up, and it looks like he's gonna have to flash out. Is he gonna flash? No, he's not gonna make it.
He does flash last
but
it was a little too late. So that kill does end up going to the Sejuani.
So both teams are tied, gold and kills. It's pretty even now. So we will see where this leads. Anything could happen in a few minutes in League. So we never know what's going to happen.
Absolutely. And it looks like Shen's going to use his teleport. Again, it's one of those summoners. It's going to have a long cooldown, but it prevents him from losing out on too much experience. Because as soon as he comes back, he is right back to lane and is able to get right back to it.
Yuumi seems to be missing from DPS on bottom, so that's interesting.
Yeah, it looks like Yuumi went and put a ward on that dragon pit. First dragon is spawning in 6 seconds, so Gilbert's just getting ready to see if they're going to be able to take out that first dragon.
Yeah.
It does look like Brophy is right there.
And they got
as
Sejuani there as well.
So we might have another fight coming in. It does look like Gilbert engages.
Bottom lanes are moving up to support the jungles, and then they pull back. So nothing really except a little chunk off of Sejuani.
It does look like Brophy's going to back off from that dragon, and we'll see if Gilbert's going to take advantage and take that first dragon.
All right. So yeah. What's his name? The scorpion guy?
Skarner.
So yeah, Skarner is at the dragon pit, and maybe he's gonna go get it.
Well, let's see. Let's mouse over there.
All right, yeah, he is currently taking
dragon. So Sejuani is still there. Brophy is aware that is going on, and Gilbert is pinging to let him know, like, hey, Sejuani's right there, probably gonna try to steal. We have a fight between Sejuani and that Akshan.
Good thing to hold him off.
Which is good. Is distracting the Sejuani so the Skarner can chunk down the dragon.
And use a smite to quickly end it, but got to be careful that his kill is not stolen, and they have the dragon.
So,
but however, they might take mid lane. Oh, no, he is actually fighting really well.
Doing a really good job, and it looks like Skarner's going to come in, chase down that Sejuani, and
First,
is able to get it.
Second kill, third kill, actually.
That was a great engage by Gilbert.
Agreed.
They were able to take dragon, they were able to stay alive, and be able to take out that Sejuani.
Looks like Skarner wants to go for grubs as well.
Yes, so that's going to create another great advantage. Grubs is another monster in the jungle that you're able to get it. It's going to help you later on to take out towers. There are a total of 6 grubs that you can get. You take one at a time. 3 will spawn now, and then in a little bit 3 more will spawn. And it looks like Gilbert just put some vision down. Brophy has vision there as well, but Skarner's going to back.
Agreed. Backing's good, so you could buy items with the gold you gained from killing things, and it's good. You could also restore your health, mana quickly, and then get back out into the fight. Ooh, right. Back to the bottom, top.
So we have a lot of things going on right now, and both teams, for those that are new to League of Legends, seem to be pretty evenly matched. When we look at the Team Gold, there's not a whole lot of difference. When we look at the Team CS, they're pretty even with each other. Brophy's ahead in a couple lanes, Gilbert's ahead in a couple lanes. So both teams are starting to really match each other.
Yep, and it seems no one's going for grubs for now, and the next dragon will be up quite soon. So we'll see where that leads. Bottom lane, their bot seems to be doing quite well, just taking out the wave, but ooh, that's a nice ult there.
Oh, unfortunately, Akshan got a little too far under tower, took some unnecessary hits, but it looks like he was able to escape. Looks like Shen came down to help.
And it looks like they're going to go for grubs off that, maybe?
Possibly. They could just be traveling up to top lane because the Ornn is getting to just farm for free. Looks like Shen is trying to get back in there.
Yeah, it looks like Skarner is in fact going for grubs.
Yeah,
so
and
that's
bot lane
good.
is definitely playing a little bit aggressive, really trying to push them back as far as they can, denying them as much of that as experience as possible. Sejuani is there looking for a gank, but it looks like Gilbert's aware.
All right, yep. Good vision leads to, you not dying.
Yep.
And they got rid of the vision, and grubs are still being taken down by Skarner, and they got the grubs.
So it looks like Gilbert's able to get the first 3 grubs, which could be a huge advantage later on when they're taking out towers. Again, we've got everyone just kind of
Incoming Skarner, but he misses his ultimate. That was his ultimate, right?
I'm actually not 100% sure. I haven't really played much against Skarners. But he did have a charge, and it looks like he did miss. But it looks like we have a gank in the mid lane. Akshan trying to get away. Sejuani missed her stun originally. I'm not sure if Akshan's going to make it out of there.
You can rest.
All right, the jungle is coming down to help, and Akshan is going to go just find a place to hide him back, unless...
That's what I'm thinking, but it looks like Akshan is going back in. He was able to gain a little bit of his health. I think he just didn't want to miss out on the CS. He had a fresh wave coming in. Skarner took the blue buff and is fighting Sejuani.
But you got to be careful. There's help coming down. and does manage to get the kill
and fighting.
Oh, but he gets caught out.
Oh, unfortunately, that bot lane did come down. The top lane came down to help. Shen was not able to get there in time, so that was a 1-for-1. But definitely putting in the pressure. It caused the mid lane to have to back. Brophy did lose their jungler as well. So it gives them time to kind of come back and reset, and we have another fight in that top lane.
Yep. More chunks of damage. They have pretty even levels, which is good for both sides, because you don't want any lane to snowball their levels and just get too overpowered for everyone to stop. Not a very good thing, that is.
No, absolutely. So Akshan really trying to put that pressure under tower. Another mini fight in top lane. Just so much action going on everywhere. You can definitely tell that we have some really skilled players on both sides. Trying to find for as many opportunities as possible and looking for the ganks whenever possible.
Ooh, they're going for mid lane again. That's not good. Ooh, they got him again. That's not good.
Both of those kills are going to their mid laner. It looks like he has a small bounty already on him. So Gilbert's going to have to watch out for that and not give in any more kills.
Yep, and Dragon is up, and Brophy is going Dragon. Sejuani's going for it, and looks like their bottom laners are going to help.
Looks like Yumi is checking. Almost got caught out, but it does look like Gilbert doesn't have much support there. So they're going to have to escape out of there pretty quickly because all of Brophy's there ready to support. Caitlyn does take out that melee.
And there's Skarner there too, but they didn't manage to get the thing.
Tried to steal that dragon, which was really close. But Brophy does manage to get it.
That's another kill.
We have a team fight coming in. And
3 kills for Gilbert.
Wow, that is a great set of team fights here.
Ooh,
Skarner
1 kill
does
for...
go down.
Ooh, 4 kills for Gilbert. That's pretty big.
That is great. It looks like Brophy did take advantage, took some tower plates off of that top, which does give that Orange some extra gold. But they were able to take out that mid laner, which means they got that shutdown gold, and now Caitlyn's the one with the bounty.
Yeah, and it gives the mid lane a chance to catch up the levels it is falling behind on because he died twice.
Exactly, and he was able to kind of free farm a little bit and take some tower plates. Before 15 minutes, tower plates give you extra gold. So if you can chunk those down, as you can see, the towers have like little bars on them. Each of those bars are going to give you extra gold. After 15 minutes, those plates go away. So chunking down those towers early game can give you that advantage of extra gold.
Yep, and so we currently got Grubs up, and it looks like Sejuani's looking around, seeing who's around, but ooh, the jungler's looking like he's gonna get caught out there.
Skarner's right there doing the same, but he's got his Oracle, and our Oracle allows you to scan to look for vision from the other team and to see any other enemy champions. And we got an
watch
ult
out for that
from
Ornn ult.
Shen is there to support, so we've got another fight in front of those grubs. Looks like Shen is a little trouble.
Ooh.
Yes.
They gotta run now.
Gilbert is there trying to get it, but unfortunately 2 of them do go down. Both of those going on that Ornn. Auction does leave, and it looks like Brophy will get the next 3 grabs.
Alright, so even grubbing, and both will get 3 Touch of the Void effects, so it'll be pretty even on the tower taking damage. Would be nice to have a little bit more, but it is what it is.
Yeah, so Auction looks like it has Yumi now with them, and they are clearing the jungle, looking for spaces where there's vision, trying to clear it out, while Ornn is chunking down that top tower as much as he can.
Yep.
While Caitlyn's doing the same. She is chunking down that bot tower, really trying to take it out as much as they can, as quickly as they can, before the lane comes.
Looks like they'll be able to take it before the lane comes.
And
they
do. First tower goes to Gilbert.
Nice. Ooh, fight in the jungle. Skarner putting up a huge fight, but
it looks like Emilio is there to support. Looks like the bot lane is coming to help.
We're going to have another team fight.
Another team fight here. Let's see.
One for Gilbert.
Gilbert's able to take out. Who did they take? Emilio.
Ooh, 2 for
Very
Brophy.
strong. That Jinx is so strong. Yumi desperately trying to get away. She is not very strong on her own.
She's very squishy.
She's very, very squishy, and she has nobody to jump on to get away. But she is using everything she can to try to get away from that Jinx, and looks like she's going to do it.
Just barely, but a win's a win. Gilbert is up by 1 kill still, and gold, but who knows? Anything can happen still.
However, it is all about taking advantage of those situations. Jinx used her flash there, which means she won't have it for quite a while, which could be an advantage for Gilbert later on. Shen stayed in the top lane, took some tower hits, and was able to farm those minions. So while that fight was going on, Gilbert was finding other ways to monopolize on it.
Agreed. And yep, just looks like everything's sort of normal now. But look, Dragon and Herald. Everyone forgets. We always forget.
Yeah, I always forget what's after grubs. So after you have the 6 grubs that have spawned, you're going to have another monster that's going to spawn in that pit. And it's called Rift Herald. Rift Herald is a big monster that if you get it, you get to keep him on a timer, like in your pocket kind of, and you get to release him in any lane, and it's going to charge and take out towers. So that Rift Herald is going to be huge for both teams to try to take out some of those towers as early as possible.
Yep, and it looks like the top tower's gonna get destroyed by Ornn.
Yes.
All right, 1 tower for each team.
Take it down, but it does look like because he was pushed up, Auction does come in to try to help gank. Ornn is going to ult. It does hit both of them, but he didn't get the recharge on it. So Gilbert really trying to capitalize on that, but they pushed him back far enough. He won't be able to take out the next wave.
He will have to back, yes, and that'll give them time to push top lane if they so wish, or back themselves.
Well, I think Gilbert was very strategic in that, and that was to try to get Rift Herald. Their Brophy's jungle is nowhere near. They took out the top laner, so it looks like Auction and Skarner is going to take out that Rift Herald. The bot lane is in the middle. Both bot lanes transferred over to middle, so they are fighting each other. So
New update for League of Legends just dropped, guys. Mid laners are now in
No, it happens. At some point during the game, it's kind of like there's not like set time, but there is a point in the game where your laning phase kind of ends. And everyone starts to migrate looking for opportunities that best benefit your team. So in this case, Gilbert already took out a tower in the bot lane, so they migrated more up to make sure that they're able to get Rift Herald, keep that pressure on that mid lane, and Brophy adjusted when they saw Gilbert do that. It does look like Brophy is setting up for the next dragon. It has spawned. Auction knows that they're there, so he did flag them. Looks like Gilbert might be conceding that dragon, but we'll have to see.
And for the people who joined, thank you for joining, and we hope you enjoy the show. This is quarterfinals, and it'll be a great couple games.
For those that might be new to Twitch, if you create an account, you can join us on the chat and just cheer on our Tigers as we continue on. We'll be explaining what's going on as much as we can for anyone that's new to the game.
Hold on, Gilbert's summoning Herald mid. Taking mid tower is good because it is the shortest route to the Nexus, and they take that mid tower.
And Brophy was not there, so as you can see, those grubs have spawned. It looks like Rift Herald is going to get another charge.
But he charges too far past, and it's going to
not sure where it's
take bottom tower. Interesting.
So you can redirect it, and it looks like Gilbert purposely redirected it to the bot lane.
But unfortunately the mid laner got caught.
Yeah, Auction was just not in great position. Looks like Skarner tried to go down and support. I'm not sure if that was a misclick, if something happened, but they were able to get 1 tower out of that.
Yeah, not too shabby. Anything helps.
Looks like ADC and support are both trying to back, but then they decided to stay. Take one more shot at Sejuani, I believe.
Yep.
And then they still decided to stay, and they're protecting mid lane.
Yep, more top lane fights, and it looks like our top laner has a level over their top laner, which is nice. Right? Did I read that right?
Yes. Well, he just leveled up, so now they are the same Both teams are actually really, really even right now, which makes for a very exciting game because one team fight could completely change the dynamics for either team right now.
Yep.
And you're seeing a lot of discipline from both teams and a lot of patience. You're not
Otacon has
seeing a whole lot
spawned.
of extending. They are being patient with each other and respecting their opponents in lane and in those fights and really making smart choices.
Yep, and the vicious Otacon has spawned top lane. Last game, the first round of the championships, we didn't see that at all because Gilbert won those quite quickly.
Yeah, I forgot. Otacon didn't even spawn on those. But this is a completely different game. A lot of great competition between Gilbert and Brophy for sure. So it's like both teams are putting up vision by that Otacon. Otacon's another jungle monster that spawns later in the game that will give the entire team buffs, similar to what dragons do. Just different buffs that it's going to give. So it's all about having that priority, and it looks like Gilbert's going to gank that top lane, trying to get that Ornn. Skarner trying to push him back as much as possible, while Shen is focusing on that minion wave. Dragon will be spawning in about a minute and a half, so as we can see, Gilbert did get that scuttle, so still always preparing for what's coming next. We have another fight in the mid lane. Looks like Sejuani was going after the ADC. Skarner showed up, pushed him back a little bit, but Sejuani is able to get away. They are pushing as far as they can right now. Neither team has their minions, so they have very little protection. So it's really about playing safe. And Akshan in that bot lane trying to take that second tower. Got so close, but Azir was there to defend. Looks like he is backing probably both teams aware that Dragon spawns in about a minute. So trying to make sure that they are resetting and getting ready for that potential Dragon. That's going to be huge. Brophy already has 2 dragons. And 3 dragons is when you get what's called Soul, which gives you an extra buff for your entire team. That's Soul, right? After 3?
I don't know. Solar Elder, I don't know.
No, sometimes I mix them up. But regardless, when you get that 3rd one, it does give you a buff for your entire team. So Gilbert cannot just let this one go. They're going to have to fight for it.
Yes, you don't want to lose that out. It looks like they're gonna take the mid tower. Ooh, 3 in the middle, with Yuumi coming up to help support, but
Looks like Skarner is pushing back that Azir. Was trying to take out that tower. They are all getting ready for Dragon. Looks like everyone's coming back. Ornn is still in that top lane trying to push, but it does look like he has his teleport, so he could join a team fight whenever it comes up. And it looks like Gilbert was able to steal Scuttle away from Brophy, which gives you a little bit more vision.
And a place for you to teleport, if you have the teleport ability.
Right, so Gilbert's really trying to take out the vision as much as possible, and we have a fight that has started right by the Dragon.
Lots of ults, lots of colors happening here.
Yes, whoever wins this team fight is definitely going to get that advantage for the Dragon fight. And it looks like Brophy takes out Skarner, which is huge because that's Gilbert's jungle.
Oh, it looks like a 2v5.
But they also take out Brophy's jungle, so both junglers are down. Looks like Shen is going to go down.
Ooh, that's not good.
That is not good for Gilbert.
4 kills
Yuumi
on
is the only one
Gilbert.
that's able to get away, which means Brophy will be able to take that Dragon uncontested.
That's unfortunate. That'll definitely hurt Gilbert a bit.
You guys have it, or?
So Brophy is going to go straight to that Dragon, even without their jungler, even though it would help to chunk it down faster because of Smite. They are still able to chunk it down safely, knowing that Gilbert won't be up for a few more seconds. Skarner is up, but I don't think he'll be able to get there in time.
Yeah, definitely
Brophy
not.
is going to take this Dragon, but that's not the end. As we've said, these teams are so close together. Anything could change things around.
Exactly. And yeah, we'll just see what happens now.
Otacon's still up, so it's now about both teams resetting. Figuring out where their lanes are, what objectives are coming up. Looks like Baron is going to be up in about 15 seconds. That is the final big monster in the top lane that will also give a huge buff to your team that actually gets expanded to your minions to really push lanes faster. So both teams are going to be able to start preparing for that. Looks like Gilbert has already placed some vision up in that top lane.
You don't want to lose 2 big monsters in a row. That'll definitely be bad for you.
So both teams really doing a great job checking for vision. Both teams have been placing a lot of vision wards. As you can see, some of the jungle is a little bit dark. If you look down at the bottom corner, this is a map for the entire jungle, for the entire playing field. All the dark areas are not visible to your opponent unless you put one of those little trinkets. The red ones are Gilbert's trinkets, and the blue ones are Brophy's.
Brophy is chasing Gilbert away, though, and starting to take Baron. So
Yes.
hopefully Baron can wear them down a bit
So
before
they are
Gilbert
going to
attacks.
be
But
very, very aggressive.
they are chunking Baron down quite
Gilbert is right
quickly.
there. Looks like they're going to try to steal
Oh,
it.
that's
But Brophy does
unfortunate.
get it. And we have a small fight going on here. Skarner does go down for that.
I'd say that's a big turning point in the match right there.
Yes, but the Baron buff doesn't stay up forever. It is on a counter, on a timer. So it's all about what Brophy does with it.
Yep. But given that they made it to quarterfinals, they definitely won't squander it.
So it looks like they are going to push down mid as much as possible. Akshan is still in that bot lane. Looks like he is going to back. So we might have another team fight going on here.
You're gonna take the tower.
As they take down this tower and start to really push forward.
Ooh.
That Baron buff really
Yeah,
does a
buffed
lot.
minions are pretty chunky.
They're significantly harder to take out. And your team keeps that buff again for a timer, but you have it until you die. And it looks like they are able to take out. Brophy was able to take out Shen, which now they have a 4v4 actually. Someone from Brophy is not there. Oh, the Jinx went down as well.
And they managed to get the inhibitor on the mid lane, which means their super minions will start spawning.
Yes, but Gilbert did a good job in not letting them push too forward. So it's all about being able to find the opportunities to push up. Auction is right there in that mid lane. Looks like tried to catch that Milio before they backed. But he's right there to catch the wave early on.
Yep. And looks like they're not gonna all push mid right now. Maybe they got their jungler kind of doing their jungle things.
Yeah, so these are taking opportunities. The way the jungler is going to level up is by taking his camps. He can start to share some of those camps with some of his teammates. It just depends on where they're at. As you can see, Gilbert's pinging that Azir. Azir has a 600 gold shutdown. So they really want to focus at Azir because not only is he really strong right now, because of his levels, because of the gold that he has, because of the items that he's had, but he's also worth a lot of gold if they are able to take him out.
And yep, like you said, they're focusing, but unfortunately that does lead to
Yeah,
death.
and that Azir is so tanky, and that Azir gets a double kill, and it looks like we have 3 Gilbert that have gone down, and Brophy just is gonna push mid.
Yep, they're gonna push mid, and given that their levels, it's not looking good for Gilbert.
They still have that Baron buff. They still have 3 of their players with Baron buff, which means the minions have them. So they are going straight for that tower, and we have an Ornn ult coming in to chunk down that Caitlyn. And Yumi with
I think
no
that's
escape.
game right there,
So
unfortunately.
they are gonna push and probably take out the Nexus, but not over yet.
Nope, it's
we
best
play
out of
best
3.
of 3. So game 1 does go to Brophy. Give us just a couple minutes. We are going to reset. The teams will join the lobbies again. We will go through another phase of picks and bans. Now that both teams have seen each other, they get a chance to change things up. If they choose to, they might choose to stick with the same picks and bans. So give us just a few minutes and we'll be right back.
Alrighty.
Like a bitter antidote. Right now, hit me like chemicals. Right now, never gonna let you go.
Alright, looks like we are back.
Yes.
And we are starting with our picks and bans. So it looks like Gilbert's starting off with that Zeri ban, which is on the ADC again. So it's pretty common to see most teams stick with most of their bans. There's a reason why they banned them in the first place, because they're usually the strongest champions that their opponent plays. So Gilbert's still sticking with those two ADC bans. Brophy does stick with that Aphelios band, and we'll see what their second band is. And they go for the Twitch. So once again, both teams staying pretty consistent with their first game bans.
Thresh again.
Yes. That Thresh is a support. And as you can see, the teams did swap sides.
Ooh,
so
they are at Caitlyn this time.
Oh, so they're really focusing that ADC. Looks like Gilbert's going to take that Ornn as their first pick, which is going to be
that's
really
good. We
good.
have a really good Ornn player. His name's Jacob.
Yeah, Jacob's definitely great on Ornn. So not only does that put Jacob on a really good champion, but it also takes it away from Brophy, which they played last game.
Yeah, it gives us a bit of an advantage this time.
That's almost like a form of like another way to ban it is when you know your opponent plays something really well, first pick it, and then you take it away from them.
And it also does mind games as well.
It can sometimes. So it looks like Brophy's coming in with that Gwen pick. Gwen is one of those champions that can technically be played in multiple places, so we'll have to see what Brophy does with it.
Agreed. So
I want to say usually she's a top laner.
Gwen. Oh yeah, she's a scissor
Gwen.
one, right?
Yep, she's a scissor one. And it looks like they're going to go with Nautilus for support. Nautilus is really good. He can get really tanky, and he has a really good hook.
Yep. Who will be chosen next?
Right.
Next time on Dragon Ball Z.
So Gilbert is running down the timer to pick their second pick here.
Well,
Let's
mind
see.
games. What are we doing here?
All right, they're going with Jaina, and Jaina is a support, which has a lot of options. She has these tornadoes that can be released right away, or she can charge them to cause even more damage. And they cause a stun. They like throw the champion up in the air, which can disrupt ults. It can disrupt a lot of things. And that Kai'Sa, which I want to say is ADC.
Yeah, I want to say that's ADC too, because they picked it right after. See, they're doing Nautilus Jinx, so they're
Well,
probably...
you don't always have to pick them right after, but
Right.
it's pretty common. So it looks like Brophy's going to stick with the same ADC.
Jinx is a pretty common ADC, but not overpowered enough that everyone hates her, I think.
Yeah. It depends how you play her. She does have her ultimate that's a rocket that goes pretty far. It's not a cross map, I don't think, like Ashe or Ezreal, but obviously can do a lot of damage still.
Yep.
And now we're next on our banning. Looks like Brophy
Is
banning Lee Sin, who is a jungler. So it looks like they targeted the ADC for Gilbert, and then we'll see what their last ban is, and that Akshan. So really targeting the mid lane now.
Right.
And Gilbert responds with the same thing, and they ban that Azir.
Yep, so almost all the same bans, except they did not like that Caitlyn last time.
Yes, that Caitlyn and that Akshan are new bans on Brophy's side. And Gilbert, their only change on their ban was that Azir.
Yep, and they did manage to get Ornn on Gilbert, so that'll give him a good advantage. Orianna.
Orianna is a mid lane.
Alright, so we know Gwen will be top then. Nautilus Jinx. We're on in middle.
Yeah, so they haven't picked their jungle. Gilbert now needs to pick their mid laner and their jungler.
Yeah, who are they going to go with? Maybe Zach?
Oh, Zach is a great jungler. And Amari is phenomenal with Zach.
Agreed.
So that is a great pick.
I've been up against the Zach personally. It's not something to be trifled with.
So now they got to pick their mid laner.
Yeah, who will it be?
I don't know much about Orianna,
Yeah.
so it's hard to say, but we'll see. They're running down 5 seconds.
Kassadin, it looks like.
We have to pick. Just cast.
All right, so it looks like
Kassadin.
they're going to go with the Kassadin.
All right. Now Brophy's final pick for their mid lane will
Vi.
Vi.
Mhm.
Interesting. So
What's Vi's ultimate?
Vi's ultimate is called. I main Vi, so here comes the
Yep.
nerd. Vi's ultimate is called Cease and Desist. It's where she targets a player, chases them down, lifts them up in the air, and slams them down.
Got it.
So it allows. So it basically just does damage and stops the enemy from moving, so your team
Got
can
it.
catch up and gank.
Okay. All right. Well, both teams have really a lot of champions that can create opportunities. The Nautilus can engage and start fights by using that hook. Vi obviously can target specific champions and cause some damage. Gwen Scissor does a lot late game.
It does a lot late game.
Early game, not quite so much. So it's really going to be important for both teams to definitely scale and level up. Zach has a great ability to jump in and stun and be able to escape as well. And also almost has like a revive. Sometimes when he
Yeah.
dies, like his globs are able to like come back to life. So a lot of opportunities on both sides, and it's gonna be another great match. So once again, The team is currently working on loading. They're on their load screen, and we are on our spectator delay. So we will be back in about 2.5 minutes once we get to join in. So sit back and give us a couple minutes. We'll be back.
Yep.
He is my devil.
All right, and we are in. So both teams, as usual, just kind of buying their items right now. Early on, when you start in the game, you automatically start with some gold to just get some of your early items and then head out to lane. Looks like Brophy is gathering for a potential gank.
Agreed. and they are moving down to do it. And luckily, our people see it coming, so that's
Yeah,
good.
so it looks like Jaina and Kaiza spotted it pretty quickly. Brophy going down to that. That is where the red buff is going to spawn for Gilbert, which is where Zach was going to start. But Gilbert is fully aware that they are there and they are nowhere to be found. So, Brophy made a good effort to try to catch somebody out, but Gilbert did a good job of getting away.
Yep. Always interesting to see a potential invade workout.
And it looks like Gilbert's going to hang out on Brophy's side of the jungle and is going to try to take out their red buff, which is a great advantage because Brophy, I don't think, is aware that Gilbert is in their jungle. And by Zach taking out that monster, they're taking it away from Brophy because it's going to be a while until it respawns. So when Brophy goes through their rotations and tries to go for their red buff, it's not going to be there.
Yeah, as a jungler, you need to get your jungle camps quite quickly. Otherwise, you fall behind in levels, and that's not good. So, alright, now it's time for the CS phase where the laners are in their lane and taking some gold.
Yeah, as you can see, they're all level 1 right now, so it's all about trying to climb those levels as quickly as possible, taking out those minions. Junglers just really checking out those camps, trying to take as many camps as possible. I think... Yeah, Gilbert also took Raptors away from Brophy.
That 2 camps hurts.
Yes, that is 2 camps away from Brophy, and Gilbert still has theirs, so he can go and get theirs.
They try to go for the gank on the bot lane, but Gilbert manages to get away, and it looks like each lane will reset its thing. Just some normal stuff. You can see some tornadoes as we discussed earlier, and since nothing much is happening, I'm gonna talk about Vi a bit because she's my main. So Vi is interesting because one of her abilities is actually passive. It's her second ability, and what it does is every 3 hits, it reduces the enemy's armor and makes your attack speed faster. So, yeah, there's that.
Yeah, so both teams, again, focusing on their spaces. Looks like Vi is going to look at her jungles and her maps on that side and realizes that some of them are gone. But really focusing on, chunking each other down whenever possible, but really focusing on that CS. Kind of how the last game started. Everyone's pretty even.
Yep. All right, and the first dragon will be up in a minute 20, so we'll see how that plays out. Last time, Brophy is the one that got the dragon at first, so maybe
Gilbert got the first one, and then Brophy got the next
that's
3.
right. Never mind. It was a long match.
It was a very long game, that last game, for sure. So, looks like they're able to get a good hook there, and Jaina is in a little bit of trouble. It does look like she's going to go down.
Goes to Jinx.
It does. Yes, but Kaiza was also able to take out Nautilus. So first blood does give you a little bit of extra gold.
But yeah, generally
it's not a ton,
even.
but they did go 1 for 1. And it looks like Zach is right behind that Jinx, and they are going to try to catch her out, chunking her down. And looks like Jinx goes down, and it goes to Kaiza, which is awesome. Kaiza now has those 2 kills, which is exactly what you want to help your ADC get ahead.
Yeah, the jungler knew not to completely take the kill, even though it would be helpful for the jungler to have levels. You definitely want your damaging character to have a higher level.
Right, but I think Gilbert really understands that that bot lane is so important in this game, and they need their ADC to try to get ahead as much as possible.
Yep.
And getting those early kills is going to create those opportunities.
All right. Vi heading down, trying to get a gank, and it looks like it's a gank.
Yeah, so now
Hold
it
on.
looks like
She might get
Kaiza
away.
Might be able to get away. Jaina
She
really
does manage to
trying.
get away, and
Yes,
the
Jaina
tower.
did a great job, and Zach is right there,
and now it's a
ready
reversal.
to help support. And Kaiza is able to get.
They managed to reverse the gank. It was so close too. That's
really
impressive. Oh, but ooh, they're all low, and that's a very high health
Oh, and it
character.
goes on the Jinx, and Jaina is dangerously low. I don't know if she's going to be able to get away. She does have
Oh, double kill for
tornado.
Jinx.
Yeah, so
they made it up there. In
that
the
ends up
ADC.
kind of like evening it out. Their ADC is also getting some kills. They're both 3 and 1. Jinx is able to stay in lane and get a little bit more farm in. She has a little bit ahead on CS, but still kind of keep it neck to neck.
Yep. And
Dragon is up, and so are Grubs. So it's going to be interesting to see which team goes for what.
Yeah, looks like Gilbert pinged Grubs, but also
Vi is there.
going for it. So, however, who's that? Gilbert's mid lane is heading up, and so is Ornn,
Yes.
and ulting on Jinx.
And looks like they are able to get that Vi and stun her, and they're
All
able to take her
right.
out.
So they'll be able to take the Grubs
Well,
unless they
Brophy
choose.
did get one of them.
Yeah, that's true.
So it looks like Gilbert is backing off a little bit because Oriana was coming up. But let's see if they're going to choose to stay. They are staying to take those Grubs.
Yeah.
Zach joining them.
2 Grubs is better than 1, so.
Yes, absolutely, and better than none, that's for sure. So Oriana getting to farm a little bit. Looks like she's gonna roam. Checks on some vision. Yep, and she recognizes that there is vision there. She's letting her team know that there is vision, so to be careful for any sort of ganks that Gilbert will be aware of.
I'm just thinking of Gwen and how her big scissors would be so unfunctional in real life.
Absolutely, they would be too heavy. I don't know why, but every time I see Gwen, I think of Cinderella because of how the mice have the huge scissors as you're trying to carry.
And yeah.
But we digress.
Yes.
Looks like Gilbert is taking out some tower shots there as they were able to push back their bot lane.
Pings on some dragon.
Yeah, so because they do have that prio, Gilbert might be trying to set up for that dragon, but Vi is right there. Looks like trying to go in for a gank. Nautilus tried to hook and was unsuccessful. Zach is also right there. So both teams kind of having similar ideas here.
Yeah. Gwen's giant scissors makes me think of
Zach
Cloud's
does
Buster
come
Sword.
in with the NATO as well, and looks
they
like they
managed
are going
to-
to take out that Jinx,
Nice,
chasing
that's
down
very
that
good.
Nautilus as back as they can, and that is going to give Gilbert great positioning to take that dragon.
Yeah, once their ADC is down, you have a good chance of taking objectives because, ADC is the damage dealer of the whole team.
And most teams are going to recognize, especially early game, it is not worth the fight. Once you lose priority in that lane, it's best to just let Dragon go. One Dragon is not going to be a game changer. Obviously, it's nice to have it. But it's not going to make a huge difference. So they will let Gilbert have it, and Gilbert does take it while Brophy takes an opportunity to reset.
So they currently have a dragon and 2 grubs up their sleeve, so that's pretty good, as well as 3 kills and a gold advantage. Actually, these games I have not been talking about a gold as much as I usually do because I always preach the importance of items and gold. But it's been some good games that I haven't been focused on doing that.
Right, there's so much, and when the teams are pretty even in gold, which is what's happening last game and this game, obviously it's still an important part, but not a deciding factor. So it looks like Brophy pushed up their minion wave and is just backing to reset, letting the minions do some tower damage, but they knew that Gilbert was coming back up, so they're backing off a bit. The next big objective, Grubs, will be coming up in about a minute, 15 seconds. So nothing massive going on. Most teams are resetting, getting their items, spending their gold, and heading back to lane.
Items can, some gold chip from bottom, but
Yeah, so Gilbert definitely taking that opportunity that whenever bot lane is missing, they push up the wave all the way to the tower to get some of those plates off of the tower. Looks like they were able to get one. Getting some vision in those tribe bushes they know is important because ganking has been so huge in the bot lane.
Yes, and it looks like in general Gilbert is up on levels, which is very good. So you like to see it, better levels, better abilities, higher health, higher mana. just generally good for your game.
Yeah, Brophy is doing a good job at controlling that vision, recognizing that they've had a lot of ganks going down. They are taking down those blue little trinkets and placing their own. While Gilbert's been doing the same. So both trying to be
Looks
as
like a
careful
big
as they
fight in
can.
middle coming up.
Looks like we have a potential gank in the mid lane.
However, there's the cease and desist.
Cassidy is able to get away.
And
Zach comes in. Trying to get that Orianna, but just enough to push him back, and sometimes that's all you need.
Yeah, sometimes the jungle doesn't need a gank, but intimidate the enemies back.
Yes, and provide opportunities for your teammates to either get away or just be able to keep them a little bit safer. That they are gathering in that top lane for those grubs. Looks like Ornn is going to ult and goes straight for that Vi, and Vi does go down. Looks like they're going to chase down that Gwen and push her back, and Gilbert's going to try to take the rest of the grubs.
Grubs are good. You get the touch of the void buff every time you kill a grub, and it increases your damage on towers and buildings, which is good. The game isn't won by kills. It isn't won by taking the most camps. It's won by taking down buildings and destroying the Nexus.
Right, it's ultimately about who loses their Nexus first. So it looks like Gilbert does get the rest of the grubs, so they have 5 of them. Brophy still only has the 1. The next jungle monster that will spawn there is Rift Herald. So that we'll have 2 minutes until that point, and right now everyone is just focusing on fighting. Jaina traveled up to help out in that bot lane, so now she's got to travel back down to be with her ADC and help support. While she does that, she's going to try to play some vision and clear some vision as well. Knowing the dragon's up in 1 minute, they're getting their vision down for that.
Yes. Lots of damage dealing in the top lane. Gwen does have a level over Ornn, but it shouldn't be too much of a difference. And Zach is waiting for the gank and goes in for it, but does miss his grapple attack, but at least scares her off.
It looks like Gwen is going to have to back, which the advantage here is that allows Ornn to safely CS the rest of that wave and reset.
Himself. All right. Looks like everything is, calm before the storm so far, but it looks like there's a bit of action going on.
Yes, because everyone is trying to get priority in that bottom lane for Dragon. That is going to spawn in 20 seconds. So everyone's trying to clear vision while making sure that they don't get caught out, because losing one of those key champions right now could be detrimental to that team. So Brophy is protecting that pit. They have put out some vision to make sure that they are not surprised by Gilbert, but Gilbert has that vision as well, and they know that they are there.
Dragon has officially spawned.
So Brophy is going to pull it out of the pit a little bit, which is going to make it harder for Gilbert to try to steal it. And they are going to chunk it down. Looks like Gilbert is just there in the background waiting, potentially trying to find that steal.
Here
and
they
go
come.
in. We have that ult.
Red team got the
So
Drake,
Brophy gets the dragon, but we still have a team fight going. And it looks like someone went down, and I can't tell.
It was
Oh, it looks like
Gilbert.
Jaina went down from Gilbert's side. Looks like Brophy has lost both their jungle and their support. So
Zach
again,
comes back in.
Being smart about
take
how
this?
far
No.
they chase. They're trying to chunk them down as much as possible, knowing that they can't fight under tower without minions. But pushing them back as far as they can. So we are 1-1 on dragons. But that was a great team fight on both sides.
However, the top lane for Brophy did take tower and wear down some of the next one while everyone was fighting.
Right. So, I even got distracted on that, which is a great strategy that when you have your team focusing on one objective, you can try to monopolize that and get something else on the map.
Yeah. Back to just general clearing vision, gaining vision. Camps being taken by junglers. Get your red buff, blue buff. Herald is going to be up in less than a minute, so we'll see how that works out. And just now we're just back to general, laning
Yeah,
stuff.
looks like Otacon is going to be spawning in the bot lane this game. So Otacon does shift between top river or bot river. And Gilbert had some vision there. Looks like Brophy cleared it out and placed their own vision there. But again, everyone kind of getting ready to potentially have another gank.
Looks like Ornn is signaling to his team that there are 3 people there and asking them to catch them out. But however, both teams' bot lanes are heading to the Herald.
It's like everybody's traveling up there. We might have a fight in that mid lane. While Zach is trying to get up there as well. So we are going to have another team fight here.
All right. Whoever wins this team fight, it will definitely be a very big thing for the game. Ooh, that's one.
Ooh, Jaina goes down from that Jinx.
And the team is pulling back. Not sure if they're going to recommit their attack.
Yeah, they did realize that Jinx had to use her ult to take out Jaina, which, it does remove the support, but I'm not sure if that was the best use of their time.
Herald has gone down, and Zach did get little
eager jumping in,
Yeah.
trying to steal it, which is understandable. Kassadin's taken that opportunity to try to take out that tower, but is able to get away. We have a teleport coming into the bot lane because Kai'Sa was there ready to take down that tower. So Brophy really playing smart and understanding where everyone's going to be going.
Rift Herald has been summoned in the mid lane.
Wow, they wasted no time and released that Herald very, very quickly.
I mean, it worked for their strategy.
Yeah, so it looks like that mid tower is gone. We've got 2 against 1 in that bot lane. So Gilbert's
looks
gonna
like it's
have
gonna
to
be a
careful.
trade.
Kai'Sa is doing a great job fighting that Nautilus.
Oh,
my
2 kills!
gosh.
That was so close.
That is amazing. That Kai'Sa survived with like a sliver of
I know,
life
like
right there.
one
Holy
hit from
cow.
a minion attack, he
That
would
was a
have been done
great
for.
play by Kai'Sa.
Agreed. So that's a double kill for Gilbert. That makes it quite useful because now they got
Yeah,
2
absolutely.
champions.
So Brophy's definitely ahead in some CS in a couple different lanes. But because of the kill difference, it's helping the Gilbert stay even with that gold difference.
Yeah. And it looks like the next dragon will be up in less than a minute. So we'll just see how this turns out. Like,
Yeah, you can see both teams are just now coming back, really trying to find those
Gwen in the bot
opportunities. And Gwen was there ready to defend, again, because they need that prio in the bot lane. So it's going to be really important for both teams. This is a dragon that both teams want, and they're going to be there to fight for it.
Yep. Whoever gets this team.
Now it looks
kill.
like Brophy is going to try to engage early on, trying to push those towers
Zach
as much as
going mid.
possible. But we have a fight in the mid lane. Zach trying to take out that Jinx, and
But however, I don't remember Zach being that squishy.
he's a little bit behind, I believe.
They do
Oh, he
manage to
did
take
go
out
down.
Jinx, however, which is very good.
Which is very good. Some unnecessary
that
tower
hurts.
shots by that
Ouch.
Kassadin.
Tower does so much damage.
Yeah,
You do
and
not
that
wanna get
Vi
hit.
was heading right up there. So Kassadin definitely needs to be careful, knowing that Gilbert does not have their jungler up. I thought Brophy was going to take an opportunity to try to take out that dragon, but it looks like they are not. They are going to defend that mid lane tower.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible for them to take all the special effects and you still win because you focus towers and stuff.
I mean, there's so many different strategies in League of Legends
Yeah.
and so many things that can go right, while at the same time, so many things that could potentially go wrong. Both teams are starting to get ready for that dragon, though. Looks like Ornn's going to catch the wave up in top lane, knowing that they are a little vulnerable up there. Brophy is going to start that dragon by, again, pulling it out of the pit, but Gilbert is right there on the corner ready.
Let's see. So Zach is gonna have to time this really well if he wants to get the gank, and unfortunately
and
he did
Brophy
not.
gets it.
And Zach looks like
Zach
he's
is in
gonna
a
go
little bit of
down.
trouble, so he
That's the
does go
second time where he
down.
tries to get it and goes down with no
But
fruit.
you miss every shot you don't take, so it's important
and
that
it
they're
looks like they're
still
going Otacon as well. If they gain that, that's
immediately
not
going into that
ooh.
Otacon.
They're doing too much damage for Gilbert to
So
do
Gilbert
much.
is staying kind of nearby, trying to put some pressure But Brophy is really focusing. But if you notice, Cassidon's taking out that mid lane.
And Orn taking out the top lane.
And Orn is pushing that top lane. So they kind of flip-flop what Brophy did earlier. Gilbert is trying to capitalize on some of these objectives when Brophy got that second dragon and they got that Otacon.
All right.
Now, because Brophy did have to reset, looks like, Gilbert was unaware that they were sitting on a ward for Brophy. So they knew exactly where they were, so they had to back off a little bit further back, which makes it harder for that Jaina to get away and puts her in a little bit of a dangerous situation, but it looks like she is able to make it out of there. But that's going to delay her return for sure.
Yes. We got 3 characters. Looks like they're going top lane. Baron will not be up for a little bit, and neither will the next dragon.
Yeah, so no massive objectives right now other than towers. So both teams, trying to protect the towers that they have, trying to push wherever they can, clearing some jungle camps, clearing those waves, focusing on vision.
Getting that gold.
And both teams are still so evenly matched that those lane fights are still coming in
Looks like
as
first
being very
tower.
important.
Ooh, they did manage to take the Jinx, but however, the Otacon buff that they did gain was that they immediately go back to base after they die.
Right, so that Otacon, the buff that it gives them, as you can see, Brophy is being revived. Now, you only get 1 revive each, so that's good. They're able to take that out before the next team fight, which is really good for Gilbert to try to get rid of those Otacon buffs as much as possible.
Agreed. You definitely don't want your enemy team having buffs. That's for sure. A lot of vision control this game, I notice.
Both teams are doing a great job with vision, which, I mean, honestly, it's to be expected.
All right. Everyone's looks like they're gathering in the mid lane for a giant team fight.
Yeah, potentially. So both teams completely aware of each other. Jaina coming in with that tornado, just chunking each other out and kind of realizing like it's not worth the fight just yet. So enough to be able to get away and reset. It's going to be interesting to see where they choose to go.
Dang, a level 14 ADC? That's their ADC?
No, level 14s are the Orns and Gilbert's
Another
the top
turret
laners.
down.
Yeah, so Gilbert does take out another turret down in the bot lane. So again, Gilbert really focusing on putting that pressure in lane to try to give them a better advantage for the next set of fights.
Yeah. More pokes, more chunking. Zach both junglers are just taking their camps, trying to level up. And they're being made aware.
Yeah, so Gilbert is pinging like crazy, letting them know like, hey, Brophy's here. Jaina got a little bit
Ooh,
caught
a cease and
out,
desist.
but she is able.
Oh, that ult.
So here's the thing, though. Both Jinx and Vi both use their ults to get that Jaina, which means they're not going to have it for the next team fighting. Gilbert is completely aware of that. They pinged it right away because they know 2 of their stronger ults are gone from Brophy's side.
Yeah. Lord drop. Jinx and Vi are sisters. So
The next dragon is coming up in 30 seconds, and as we know, this third dragon is going to be incredibly
they're
important.
trying to catch Gwen.
And they are chunking down that Gwen, trying to catch up to her, and Ornn does ult.
And gets the Gwen.
They are
That
able
is very
to get
good.
her. Looks like Brophy's trying to push that bot lane as much as possible, taking some of Gilbert's camps. Again, probably trying to get that advantage for Dragon later on.
Agreed. So both teams are going to be moving down, and it looks like they didn't get much off that tower when they came down. So, but Dragon has now spawned, and so has Baron. So
Yeah, so Cassidon's going to be coming down that bottom river. Gilbert is coming up quickly, and they are going to go for another team fight. Jaina does throw her nado And we'll see how this
Oh,
goes.
they got the Cloud Drake.
Yes, and Brophy is able to get the next dragon, but we have
However,
a great
there's a
team
lot
fight
of
here.
kills for
Gilbert is able to get out 3 of them, and they are
Maybe
chasing
a
down that
4th?
Vi,
Maybe a 4th.
and they get her.
That's a
Gwen
majority of
is
the
the
team.
only one that's left.
It looks like they might go Baron, maybe, to make up for what
Yes,
they've lost.
and Gilbert is going to go straight from Baron. They are going to be able to get Baron completely on their own.
Very good.
Because they took out all of Brophy except for Gwen, and Gwen's not going to be able to contest that. And even though there's only 3 of them, Gilbert knows that they are strong enough to be able to take it. So Gwen is standing right there. Gilbert is fully aware. Orin's going to take care of that Gwen in that 3v1. And they take her down, and Gilbert gets Baron.
Nice.
Let's
that Baron
go.
buff will be useful. Ooh, that Vi
Jinx.
ult.
That was that Jinx
or
ult.
Jinx, no, my
which,
bad.
Was a good effort.
Yeah.
Probably wasn't sure. Was trying to steal Baron,
Probably.
Kassadin is clearing that bot lane as well, trying to push up as much as possible. And I don't think Brophy's aware that Kassadin is there.
I made some really dumb
All right, so it looks like the teams are just going back to gaining some gold and stuff.
And Gilbert's going to use this opportunity while they have Baron buff to try to push in every lane possible. You can see they are gathering in a couple different areas. So Orin, what was happening right there, Orin has this ability that he does not have to back to get items, first of all. And it comes to a point to where he can level up an item for anyone on his team, but they have to be near him. So that's why
he's
Zach...
a blacksmith. It's
exactly.
It's a cool feature,
so,
you know?
Orin and Zach were there in a safe place while Orin was leveling up one of Zach's items as they go back out. And you can see 3 of Gilbert they're traveling together, checking out vision, trying to clear it out as much as possible. There is another dragon in almost 3 minutes, but they still have more opportunities to find some of those team fights and to get ready for the next set of objectives. They have that Baron buffs. They need to use it. They need to be able to push.
The minions are strong
And
now.
looks like we have another fight,
Ooh,
and
that was
Vi
a
goes
quick
down.
kill.
Wow, Kai'Sa is getting so strong. Kai'Sa has a 650 bounty on her. She's got 9 kills, so that Kai'Sa is dangerous right now. And so is Kassadin. I didn't realize Kassadin's 5-0. They're doing great.
This is so far so good. The whole of both teams are gathering around the middle, and it looks like
And Zach
Zach's
is charging it. And they timed it perfectly with that Ornn ult. While somebody's taking out tower, the grubs are helping them out. They are pushing forward.
Zach, that bounty.
Kassadin does overextend a little bit, takes on
Zach
some
is
tower
going
shots,
in to
going
take
in,
out again.
and takes out the Vi while everyone else is focusing the tower. Ornn is taking tower shots because he is so tanky.
He's super tanky.
And Gilbert gets an ace, which means they took out all of Brophy all at once. They
have
Inhib.
minions and they have grubs. It looks like.
And they're going straight for that tower. Looks like Vi is trying to defend. But Gilbert is taking down that tower very, very quickly. And with the help of grubs and the minions and their Baron buff, they are taking down those towers. They are melting them. And they're focusing that Nexus, and Brophy's trying. They're trying to fight them off so badly.
But Gilbert wins the second round. So
Gilbert
going to the
pushes
third
all the way
round.
through and gets the victory. So hang on, folks. We're going to game 3. This is an amazing set of games. So give us just a few minutes and we'll be back for game 3. Gilbert 1-1 with Brophy.
lyrics it under me mattress. Only pull them out when they in a contest. Then they make sure all matters are just. Matters are just. In the treasure chest, power inside, yes, merciless, bury all lyrics left man in a distress. You can read about it in the Daily Express. Express. Battles are
All right, and we are back. Starting again with our picks and bans. Looks like we have switched sides again. So Brophy will have blue side this game, and Gilbert will be on the red side. So our bans are starting off the same. Looks like Brophy's going to stick with that Aphelios and Twitch ban, which makes sense. We don't want to put that. They don't want to leave those up for it. And they're sticking with that Caitlyn as well.
Ornn is banned this round.
It looks like Gilbert has decided that they're not going to play Ornn, but they're going to ban it altogether.
That's
so
true. They don't want to have it around.
Yeah, that's interesting. So let's see what Brophy is going to first pick.
Yeah, because they're probably the first person they were going to go with was Ornn, because Ornn is just such a super
which makes sense.
character.
It's probably why they banned it. All right, so they're going to go with Xayah, and Xayah is going to be their ADC. So that's very interesting that Brophy is first picking that.
All right, we got Shen.
And we got Shen the top lane. So going back to our first game pick.
Yeah, not too bad. All right.
And looks like they are going to pick. Gilbert gets their second pick here. The team is discussing on which champion they want to prioritize, and they're going to go with that Jaina, which is such a good choice. Jaina created so many opportunities for Gilbert.
And they got Sejuani for their jungler.
Oh, and Brophy does not miss this opportunity before that Azir gets banned. They are going to pick that Azir for the mid lane.
All right.
With that Sejuani, because they really did play well together.
All right, they did not ban Zac this time.
Right, so before we get to bans, Gilbert does the same thing that Brophy did. Brophy prioritized that Azir, Gilbert prioritized that Zac. So that's going to be a great matchup. We didn't see them against each other in that game. You know, Azir was game 1, Zac was game 2. Both game-changing champions for both of their respective teams. So that's going to be really interesting to see how they play out. Gilbert coming in with that Thresh ban again. Brophy hadn't picked their support yet, so they're gonna focus that bot lane a little bit more.
All right. Who's next in the banning list? Kai'Sa.
Oh, and Brophy really focusing Gilbert's ADC
again.
Which makes sense. Christian is phenomenal with a lot of these champions, but he's got a lot more.
He's got a lot of
He's got a lot that he can play. They cannot ban him out.
You practice a lot of characters, get good at a lot of characters. And
and it looks like Gilbert's going to focus that support. They took out the Milio, they took out that Thresh, and they took out that Nautilus. And looks like Brophy is going to go full ADC bans. I have actually don't think I've ever seen that before.
A full ADC ban.
Yeah, where every single ban is against the ADC. I think you can tell who's Brophy's worried about.
ADC.
Which honestly, it's a huge compliment to Christian. Christian is one of our seniors. We're so sad to see him graduate, but so proud of what he's been able to do this season. And he goes on
Misfortune.
a classic misfortune.
She's she's Caitlyn, but more AOE.
Yeah, I mean, she has so much ability. From her E that just showers down damage, and her Q that actually like bounce off of the first thing that it hits, like ricochets off, and her ultimate, this cone of fire that just goes out. So a lot of great opportunities for Gilbert with that misfortune. It looks like Brophy is going to pick Malphite for that top lane, so that's going to be an interesting matchup with that Shen. And another Hook champion. I think their support really likes Hook champions because Gilbert banned Thresh and Nautilus because we saw him play Nautilus, but both of those are Hook champions, and they go with yet another incredibly annoying Hook champion.
League is such a big game that like even if you probably like just banned all Hook champions, there's probably another one to play.
Well, I think besides these, there's probably only one more Hook champion, but yes, there's a lot. And it looks like Gilbert comes in with their final pick of Galio in the mid lane, who can get actually really, really tanky, which is really good for Gilbert to have those great escapes and that extra damage coming in from that Galio. I'm still shocked with that ADC set of bans from Brophy.
I'm not, because that who did he play last time?
Kai'Sa.
That I saw that Kai'Sa doing a lot of damage.
Kai'Sa is crazy, definitely. So this is definitely going to be a great matchup. We have definitely champions on both sides that we've seen them carry on. That Sejuani was great for Brophy in that first game. Same with that Azir.
That whole ADC ban is just insane, because like if you do all ADC, then everyone's strong in their own areas unless you choose their characters.
Right. So that's going to be super interesting. And just like before, we are now in our spectator delay. Gilbert and Brophy are getting their load screens right now. They're going to get into the match, which gives the teams just a little bit more time to strategize.
Yeah, strategize, take a breather.
Now that they know that what everyone is playing, they have, about 30, 60 seconds left to have those conversations as a team, to have those few strategy conversations before they load into the map. So we will be back in a little over 2 minutes. So sit back. Thank you for joining us as we cheer on our Tigers into Game 3 against Brophy.
don't let you pass into my world, my crystal ball, what's inside my heart, you don't need to know. Taking a breath, closing my eyes, taking a break. I don't want to run, I cherish myself, so don't cross the line. All the old times are into your eyes. Please be quiet, do not break the silence. I'm not losing time, I want to waste it with you. Please be quiet, do not break the silence. Like a dawn, made of glass, I will never break if I don't let you pass into my world, my crystal ball, what's inside my heart, you don't need to know.
We will be on a slight delay even more because it looks like the game is paused in real time, so we'll see how long this takes.
Like a doll, made of glass, I will never break if I don't let you pass into my world, my crystal ball, what's inside my heart, you don't need to know. Like a doll, made of glass, I am not to blame, but to watch and behold this crystal ball around my soul, what's inside my mind, you don't need to know.
So a little bit of an update. Looks like Brophy had similar issues to game one. One of their players did not connect, so the game is paused, which prevents us from loading into the game at all. So as soon as they connect back up, we will have to restart our system, our client, and then we'll be able to get into the game. So sit back and just give us a couple more minutes. We'll be back. All right, and we are back. So just like before, we start out with that paused timer as both teams. It's a really nice thing that Riot allows us to do. If something goes wrong in the game, someone disconnects, you can pause the game immediately until that person reconnects, and then they are able to reconnect. So the teams communicate with each other through in-game chat. And then once both teams are ready, they both kind of agree and unpause, and then the game gives you a countdown so everyone's ready to jump back in. So it shouldn't be too much longer, and here we go. Both teams loading in, getting their items. They're kind of held back in their base, not really allowed to like move forward too much. But we'll see if any team decides to go for an invade. We saw in game 1, Brophy did try to invade Gilbert's jungle, but Gilbert did a really good job at seeing where they were at, and just holding back and not getting caught out in anything. So it looks like we're not going to have any sort of invade this game. Both teams just kind of going to their standard 5-point positions. You can see them down here in our mini map. Everyone's kind of spread out. It's kind of a defensive stance. Rather, you can go on offense and try to invade, versus on defense. You're just protecting all your points of vulnerability to make sure that nobody tries to do any sort of invade. Looks like Shen and Malphite are facing off a little bit. A little friendly dancing going on. Oh, but then there is Zach, and they try to push back that Malphite. Once again, as you can see, Brophy is back to being blue, and Gilbert is back to being red. Always takes me a minute to reset. My co-caster had to leave. His ride had arrived, because obviously game 3 makes us go a little bit longer than expected, which is all good. We're excited to be here. So you'll just have me for the rest of the game. Alright, so pretty usual, as we've said early on. They're just focusing on those minions, trying to poke each other out. That Jaina is why she's so strong with those tornadoes, really trying to cause some disruption for Brophy. That Shen in that top lane trying to push back that Malphite, deny him some of that experience, some of that gold, cause him to miss on some of his CS if possible. Really trying to create those opportunities. If they create an opportunity for a kill, that's great, but that's not really the focus of early game. Early game is just to get as much gold as you can and deny your opponent of as much gold as possible. Do have a little bit of vision going on. Both teams trying to protect themselves from any sort of ganks as they start to level up. Looks like pretty much everyone is at level 2. Sejuani is up at 3, and so is Zach. So again, both teams really kind of keeping even here as we start. Just like our other games, these two teams are so evenly matched. It's really created an amazing set of games. Are very entertaining to watch. All right, and again, looking for those opportunities. That Shen chunking down that Malphite as much as possible. Those tornadoes going out, trying to push that Xayah back. Shen really doing a good job at causing some damage for that Malphite. If he gets too low, he's going to have to back.
I'm rezzing, just protect me. Xayah's going for me.
All right. So as we go through here, they're going through their jungles.
Get dragon. I get it.
You might be able to hear some of the team in the background. Again, they're a little bit ahead of us. So in about 2-ish minutes, we'll get to see what all the excitement is about. League of Legends it's so important to have communication among your teammates, where everyone's at, what objectives you're going for, which champion you're targeting, are all things to be paying attention to. And here we have that Galio trying to push in, Sejuani coming in on the side, trying from a gank. Galio trying really hard to get away, and it looks like he does. Dragon is coming up in 45 seconds. So both teams are definitely, trying to get as much priority as possible. Early on, there's not a whole lot of possibilities for one team to have like amazing priority like you have at the end of the game. It's more about pushing up your lane as much as possible, getting to level up as much as you can to try to take that early dragon. It looks like Zach comes into that top lane trying to get a gank, and they are fighting together for that Malphite. Malphite is still so tanky. He is level 5 already. So they're able to push him back a little bit, but not really successful to take him out. So Zach does decide to retreat. There's a lot of vision in that river, so everyone knows where he is at. We did have a gank in that bot lane, and it looks like Xayah was able to take out that Jaina. So first blood goes to Brophy. And because of that, it's going to give Brophy some priority for that bot lane, and it does look like they are moving to Dragon right now as that Blitzcrank and Sejuani go to the Dragon Pit. Zach is coming up right behind, and it looks like we have a TP coming in from that Galio, so we might have a team fight in that river as they fight for that dragon. Brophy's got it chunked down about halfway, but Misfortune and Zach and Jaina was able to get back in time, and we have another team fight. So they are going at it. Looks like Zach is going to go down, but as you can see, those blobs are coming back together. He is trying to revive. They take out that Blitzcrank. They're pushing Brophy back, take out Sejuani, and looks like they're going to take out that Xayah as well, and they do. And looks like Gilbert is pinging to go back to that dragon and focus it. We have some action in that top lane, but let's see here. Gilbert is taking that first dragon, so that was a great fight by Gilbert. Not only were they able to take some kills and get the golden experience from that, but they are also able to get that dragon and go back to lane and continue farming. That was a great engage by Gilbert.
Sorry, I'm gonna only call Christian unless
All right, looks like Grubs is up and Gilbert is pinging to go that way. There is no vision there whatsoever from either team. So Gilbert does have an opportunity to take those because Brophy won't know that they are there. Even though Sejuani is in the area, Azir is trying to potentially move up, put a little bit of vision, but Gilbert trying probably to take those. Jaina has traveled up to support, while Misfortune is just protecting tower. And Gilbert is there taking out those Grubs, and it looks like Sejuani just kind of peeked in to see what was going on there. Probably made a decision to let it go. Malphite putting some vision down just to see where they're at, what they're doing. Both are traveling up. Looks like Jaina just provided some a shield, and then is going to probably to go back to that bot lane with their ADC. So really smart plays on both sides of the map here. Gilbert able to, secure a few more objectives, which just put them a tiny little bit in the lead. Brophy is leading in CS in several lanes, which is why our gold is still so even in both of these. So bot lane, we have just those same general engages, same in mid lane, fighting for that CS. Both junglers just now getting back to their lane, probably focusing their camps. We don't have major objectives coming up. Their buffs are up, or about to be up, so they're focusing on those. Dragon and the next set of Grubs are both going to be up in 3 minutes, so that's going to be our next set of big objectives that both teams will be setting up for.
I think Grubs are better. Grubs are better.
So both teams, it has been impressive of how much they have focused their vision on both sides, clearing it and placing it, providing opportunities for their team, not only for ganks, but also preventing them from getting ganked because of the vision that they have. And right here, Galio getting caught out a little bit by that Sejuani, but again, that Galio is so much farther ahead than that Sejuani that really didn't do a whole lot of damage for them. That was probably a really great pick by Gilbert because it allows their mid laner to travel a little bit safer because they're so much tankier. than some of the other champions that they've been playing today. So he's focusing on those minion waves, really taking that CS as much as he can. Top lane, just fighting for that CS. Galio trying to catch that Azir as much as possible. Gets thrown back into tower, but looks like, oh, and he does go down to that Azir. He's going to have to be careful. Azir is one of his abilities that he puts up a wall, and he's able to grab the opponent and toss him back behind the wall because he puts it right there in front of tower. Galio was taking tower shots, so it's not even damage being caused by the Azir, which there was some, but the tower did most of the work for him. Zach is there in that mid lane trying to, catch the wave and push back a little bit while he waits for Galio to come back. So both teams just getting back to it, focusing on their lanes. That death counter is dead even right now, which just goes to show both teams are being very careful, looking for the right objectives to try to capitalize on every single opportunity that comes up. This is the final game for both teams, and they both want it badly, and it shows.
I'm on the way bot. They have so much vision. Can you clear this?
So it looks like Misfortune is by herself in that bot lane, really focusing on taking out that wave as quickly as she can, letting potentially going to try to take some shots to that tower, maybe even getting a plate.
I'm here. Defend me.
Looks like she is able to get one plate and then just leaves the minion wave to keep causing damage to that tower as she backs to buy items.
We're equal, by the way, on kills.
Yep, I'm gonna push this way with that back.
All right, so we got some engages in the top lane. Looks like Jaina's traveling up potentially to support that top lane as Zach is also heading up there. They are definitely setting up for grubs while Brophy's setting up for Dragon. So this might be just an exchange that they are going to do. Zach goes in trying to get that Malphite. Malphite is able to escape. Galio trying to take some hits, but they weren't able to get the Malphite. Brophy does take that Chemtech Dragon as Gilbert goes for the grubs. Misfortune traveled up to the mid lane, probably to provide some extra support if necessary. Malphite still traveling by the pit. Brophy is coming up, so we might be setting up for another team fight. Gilbert was able to get most of the grubs, but they escape and decide to leave one grub left for Brophy, which again, showing that patience, that strategy that it was better to give up one grub than for anyone to risk going down and giving Brophy any more kills. So it looks like Azir was going to back in lane, and Galio just kind of walked up and started to threaten him a little bit, so it stopped his recall. He had to stay and defend a little bit. That's Sejuani trying to come up on the side, but Gilbert has vision there, so Galio is fully aware where she is at. Bot lane still going at it, fighting each other as much as they can. Zach doing the same in that bot lane, clearing the vision, trying to create more opportunities for those ganks. The more vision that they are able to clear, the better opportunities that they're going to have. And it looks like he is still trying to potentially throw in a gank, but he backs off as he sees that Sejuani coming down. There was just a lot of vision there, so Brophy was ready for it, and they came down to defend. And it looks like Brophy is going to stay and trying to push here. Zach stayed as well, so it just kind of a standoff a little bit there. Both teams deciding to back off and not to engage right now. Again, looking for those engages that are going to be worth it, showing a lot of restraint from both of these teams. As far as our counters, we don't have anything massive. Dragon will be up in 2 minutes, 45 seconds. Looks like Rift Herald will be up in about 2 minutes. So soon those teams will start looking for those objectives, but right now they're clearing cams, pushing towers. Looks like Azir's teleporting back to his tower. Galio was right there, about to start pushing.
No, we don't win this. We can just get dragon. Then bot down.
All right.
You just need to take it fast.
So it looks like we have Gilbert coming into that mid lane, trying to catch that Azir. Sejuani is right there, ready to support. So again, just kind of poking at each other or as much as they can, trying to chunk each other down before you have those massive engages. Looking for the best opportunities while everyone still focuses on their individual jobs. We are still barely 15 minutes in. There is a lot of game left to play.
I believe Sejuani does have time now.
Looks like Otacon is going to be spawning in that bot lane again, which puts some of that extra pressure because you have Dragon and Otacon. They're going to be there ready to be contested for. So, you know, the bot game has been so much more, it's been so important, but it's even more focused now because both of those big objectives are going to be in that bot lane. All right. So we are possibly resetting. Dragon is up in a minute. Rift Herald will be up in 20 seconds. Looks like we got a hook on that Jaina. And Jaina does go down to the Xayah. Looks like Miss Fortune used her ult, trying to get either Xayah or Blitz. They were both really low, but was unable to really capitalize on that. So it looks like she is going to go back and reset, and we'll see where the team's had. Brophy, Sejuani is heading up to that Rift Herald, so it's very possible that they are going to take that Rift Herald. Miss Fortune taking that, I'm not sure what that's called, it's a little flower that gives you health, so that she can stay in lane, and Brophy is going to take that Rift Herald. Looks like Gilbert is there, aware that they're doing it, but doesn't look like they're going to contest it. Zach jumps in, but he's a little bit late, so everyone's just going to back off from there.
Bot's missing, bot's missing, they're moving.
All right, and it looks like the teams are going to reset because Dragon is ready, and they both teams are definitely going to fight for this. Looks like Gilbert has moved in. We're going to move down here and see what's going on. Gilbert has started that Dragon, really focused on clearing out the vision. Brophy is there. Looks like they're going to back off from it. Potentially trying to maybe find and engage. Miss Fortune tried to back, but Sejuani was aware that she was right there. Looks like Galio's trying to get that Azir, but Azir is able to get away. Gilbert's still there, trying to push Brophy off of Dragon as much as possible, finding those fights. Sejuani getting on that Jaina. Both teams going in. Oh, looks like we had an ult that pushed some people out of the way, but we still have a good fight coming in here. Looks like Blitz is going to go down, and it goes on the Miss Fortune. They are focusing that Xayah, and Xayah goes down. Looks like up above.
Okay, pause.
Got you.
Wow.
All right. So it does look like Gilbert was able to push off Brophy, and Zach is there left on his own to take that Dragon. Looks like Galio's going to try to come down. Azir is there, so they are going to have to be very careful with that Azir as much as possible. Because he is still hanging out there. They're both focusing that Dragon as much as they can. Looks like we do have a fight in the top lane. Blitz is there, and they pull him out, and Brophy steals that Mountain Drake. Looks like Zach is trying to hunt down that Azir. Blitz is there. That is unfortunate. So Blitz pulled the Zach out of it, which put him out of range probably from his smite, which allowed Brophy to steal that Dragon. But that's all right. Gilbert just needs to reset, get back to their lanes. They are still, dead even on gold. A lot of opportunities still going ahead. Misfortune does have a bounty on her, but so does Azir, so they're going to have to be careful. Looks like they released Rift Herald in that mid lane, and it looks like we have a bit of a fight going in here. Sejuani is moving away. Let me see if they took out. All right, so Gilbert was able to take out Rift Herald before it took tower. Rift Herald does take damage, just like all other monsters and minions, so you can't fight it. And it looks like Gilbert did a really good job. It did a lot of damage to the mid tower, but they were able to fight it enough to keep it safe. However, Malphite does take that tower in the top lane, so first tower does go to Brophy. Looks like we have another fight in the jungle. They're trying to push back. Otacon has spawned. We'll see if either team's going to go for it just yet. No one really has priority in the bot lane right now, so I don't see any team going for it. They're going to try to find the right time, the right engage to take out someone, take out a tower to create some extra priority on either side. Galio's still fighting against that Azir, trying to hold him back as much as he can. He's doing a good job of keeping up. Azir is just a little bit ahead in that CS, but Galio is starting to get fed himself, so still a good positioning for Gilbert. So it looks like we are just clearing some camps, trying to clear some vision. Team's kind of resetting. Shen trying to push that top lane as much as he can, but Malphite just got there. Bot lane, again, trying to push as well. Both of those first towers in mid and in bot, are not healthy right now. They have very little life left, so it's important for both teams to protect those right now. And it looks like the team has migrated towards mid lane except for Misfortune. She is in bot lane by herself. So again, the team trying to look for some opportunities for the next team fight. Otacon is ready. You have the next dragon coming up in 2 minutes. Baron's not for another 3.5 minutes, so you have a little bit more time. Or I think that's another Rift Herald, actually. So dragon is your next one at 2 minutes. So both teams really looking for opportunities. Looks like we have a double up on Galio. He's trying to fight it, trying to get away. Shen does ult in, trying to help out. Zach shows up, trying to make this a 3v2. Everyone's able to walk away healthy. That Galio is going to back while the teams reset. Looks like bot lane was going to head up to help support. But now they are back, and they're going to try to push for that tower. Misfortune is there. Oh, that tower has a lot more life than I realized. Misfortune is going to ult, which is going to push him back off of that tower, clearing the minion wave, which is a great move. All right, so we have, still looks like Galio moved up to the top lane and Shen went mid. So again, trying to create some objectives there. Bot lane, you have a few more people. That dragon is coming up again, so this one's going to be very important. Again, Gilbert needs that third dragon and needs to make sure that it's not given to Brophy. So that's going to be a really big objective, also knowing that Otacon is there. So if a fight does start there, more than likely whatever team's able to get dragon will probably go for that Otacon right after, because they are right there next to each other. Looks like top, we have another fight, and Malphite is potentially going to get away with a sliver of life. Galio is still trying to potentially find an opportunity here, and he is able to get that Malphite and get away, which is great because now Brophy only has 4 people for the next 38 seconds, and Gilbert's going to try to capitalize on that as dragon is up, and looks like Galio's going to stay in that top lane and push and try to create some extra pressure for Brophy in that top lane by taking out that tower. Looks like Gilbert is starting that dragon, but Brophy is right there. They're trying to pull it out, make it harder for Brophy to steal. But they're there. They're ready to fight. So Gilbert's going to have to be very careful on how they choose their fights. Jaina gets pulled in, and looks like Jaina's going to go down to that blitz. Miss Fortune ults, takes out the blitz. They are hunting down that Azir. Looks like they're going back to take that Sejuani, and can't see if they got her or not. No, she was able to escape. So Zac is trying to revive, but Zaya is able to take out that Zac. So losing Zac and losing Zaya, the others are really low. They are going to have to back off, and they're going to have to back, which means they will give that third dragon to Brophy. That dragon does allow Brophy to get a little bit closer to Gilbert, leveling the playing field when it comes to that gold. Gilbert technically still a tiny little bit ahead. We still have some bounties on both sides of the teams. Otacon is not something that Brophy is going to go for yet. They are pinging it. But Gilbert is back up. So they are going to have to be very, very, very careful. Looks like Zaya takes out a turret down in that bot lane. Both teams, again, just trying to hang on and push every objective that they possibly can.
There's probably like a Jana tornado and heals on. Run. There's 3 here. There's 3 mid.
All right, looks like we have another gank in that top lane. We have Shen and Zac. That Malphite is just so tanky that he is able to get away so quickly. Looks like the teams are trying to set up for Baron that has now spawned in that top lane. You also do still have Otacon in the bot lane. So we might see a trade here where one team might go for one and the other goes for the other. Brophy is going for that Otacon right now. But they have people spread out. So you have Galio that is fighting that blitz, while you have 3 people from Brophy fighting Otacon, and they are going to get it. So it looks like they are going to reset. Gilbert's still trying to push in those different areas. We have some in mid lane, Misfortune in the bot lane trying to catch that wave. Zac trying to focus on his camps. Malphite is pushing in that top lane as well.
Dragon in 30, we really need to be on that dragon. It's their soul.
All right, everybody is pushing up. Looks like we've got some resets, and Blitzcrank catches out that Galio as they were trying to recall, which unfortunately sets them just a little bit behind as far as time. In this game, 5-10 seconds can make a world of difference. So being able to back is so important in that time counter. That allows Brophy an opportunity to go for Baron, and Gilbert is nowhere near. They do have vision, so they know that Brophy is there, and it looks like Gilbert's going to be headed right there. And they are going to definitely contest this. Looks like Zac is charging in to jump, but it looks like Malphite jumped out first, and they're going to go in, and Brophy gets Baron. So this makes it really difficult for Gilbert. Right now, Brophy has the Baron buff. They have the Otacon revive. So Gilbert does get away, and they choose to back off, knowing that that is not a fight that they are ready to go for right now. So it looks like Gilbert is going back to their lanes, trying to push them off, realizing that Brophy does have that Baron buff, so they are going to be able to push a lot faster. Gilbert is spreading out a little bit. Shen is up at the top lane, trying to catch that wave. They caught the wave down in the bot lane. Galio's moving down, potentially trying to catch out that Malphite. And it looks like he's going to be able to, but he missed his charge, and Malphite is just going to back off. But it looks like Malphite hung around, trying to potentially do a counter, sneak there, but Galio was really smart and put down some vision that allowed him to stay a little bit more protected. Again, that Malphite is so tanky. That is not taking a ton of damage. but neither is the Galio. Ooh, and unfortunately Sejuani does show up and catches out that Galio, and I don't know if he's going to be able to get away. That 2v1, even though he is really tanky, so are the other two. Looks like he is able to back away. Shen does show up to try to support enough for the Galio to back and not give another kill to Brophy.
Alright, get the Blitzcrank. Get the Sejuani off of him. Oh,
He
sorry.
flashed. It's fine, it's fine.
All right, looks like Brophy is just hanging out in some of those bushes trying to potentially catch somebody out. Zach was there getting his blue buff. Brophy's just kind of just waiting there. Next dragon comes up in 13 seconds. Looks like we have an engage here, and Zach is fighting for his life. He does go down. We have an ult coming in. Looks like Blitz is going to go down, and it does go on the Misfortune, which is fantastic. They are continuing to fight. Azir takes out Shen, Galio takes out Zaya, so lots of back and forth here. But unfortunately, it does look like Brophy comes out ahead, and they are going for that 4th dragon, which is going to give them soul.
Watch out, watch out. They should be coming. Don't think
Leave now.
So Brophy, with a lot of ease, is able to get that dragon. They still have that Baron buff. So they are resetting, getting back to lane, and just trying to push as fast as they can. The next Baron, so Baron does spawn back up. It's going to spawn again in 3 minutes. The next dragon's not up for another 5.5 minutes, so the teams do have quite a bit of time before the next set of objectives. Again, Brophy does have those couple buffs. Looks like the Baron buff has finally worn out, but they do have that soul buff. So now they are going to reset, go through their camps, try to clear those out as fast as they can. Gilbert has a little bit of making up to do. They're starting to fall behind on their gold. They are down by 3 dragons. They haven't gotten a Baron or anything like that. So Gilbert really needs to play smart and has to prioritize those next set of objectives. They're doing a great job with their vision in that top jungle, really trying to make sure that no one gets caught out, because that will be a game changer. Jaina really doing her job as a support, trying to push as much as possible. Does get hooked by that Blitzcrank and goes down. Misfortune is there trying to support. They are under tower, Gilbert's tower, so Brophy taking a little bit of extra damage, and looks like Misfortune's able to take a Zir, which is huge because he had a shutdown on him. Misfortune does go down to the Sejuani, but Gilbert is there to support. They get the Sejuani, and it goes to the Zac with that shutdown. Great play by Gilbert. They're able to take out 4 of Brophy. Malphite's the only one that wasn't there. He is clearing some camps in the jungle, so Gilbert's going to take that opportunity to try to push, take that tower in the mid lane, and try to give Gilbert a little bit of an advantage here, and help them catch up. So they do take out that tower. They're going to push this wave, all 3 of them, as fast as they can before Brophy comes up. They are still not up. So the later you get into the game, the longer your death cooldown, your death timer takes. So Blitz and Zaya are just now coming up. So Gilbert using this to chunk down that tower as much as they can, using Zac to take those tower shots because he's so tanky. Shen trying to get away. Malphite has it up to them. So we have another team fight going on here. Looks like Jaina goes down to that Zaya. We have another engage here. Zac comes in and takes out that Blitz, and it looks like Misfortune takes out the Blitz and the Malphite. That was a great engage by Gilbert, really pushing them back farther, pushing Brophy from being able to push ahead too much. It levels out the playing field as far as gold is concerned. Brophy does still have that soul buff from the dragon. Not 100% sure if that one eventually dies out. But the teams are all going to reset. That next Baron is coming up right now, and Brophy is there ready to take it. Gilbert, I'm not sure if they are aware that Brophy's taking dragon, and it looks like they're chunking it down very, very quickly, and they get that Baron buff again. So Gilbert just putting out some vision, ready to catch those minion waves, pushing them up as much as they can, and they just now realize that Baron is gone.
Can you jump in, Marty? Nice.
They are gathering back in that mid lane.
Don't try to kill them. Don't try to kill them. Just try to back off.
Zach just clearing some camps. All right. So it looks like Brophy is taking the advantage since they have Gilbert pushed back a little bit farther. They're taking some of Gilbert's camps, which is going to hurt their jungler because he's going to have less camps to be able to use. All right, so everyone's just pushing up those lanes. Gilbert trying to find where they can an opportunity to be able to fight back. They're not out of this yet. It is still very, very close. All it takes is just one team fight to go in their favor and to turn things around. So it looks like they are pushing here in the mid lane. Both teams kind of gathering here. Looks like Malphite is solo in that top lane. Shen going up to catch that wave. As they meet up in that mid lane, we have Dragon coming up in 1 minute. So Gilbert definitely needing to fight for that Dragon. So both trying to just hold each other off as much as they can. They need to stay alive. Brophy trying to use their Baron buff and push as much as they can, while Gilbert trying to defend, while at the same time get ready for that Dragon. We can see both teams pinging, heading down to that bot pit as Dragon comes up in 30 seconds. Looks like Brophy is there, ready to go, ready to defend. Gilbert is coming. Galio is backing right now. Shen, looks like we have a TP coming in. Yep, Shen is tipping down to that bot tower. Galio going to TP to mid lane, and we have a fight in that bot lane. Looks like Misfortune is on her own and goes down, and so does that Shen. Jaina trying to slow them down. Brophy pushing up that tower, realizing that the farther they're able to push, the less likely Gilbert's going to be able to contest that Dragon. So they are going to push in this bot tower. The team is there to try to defend, but we'll probably have another team fight going on here. But it is a little bit lopsided as Gilbert's still waiting for two players to come back up, and they take out that inhib. Zach coming in with that ult, trying to cause some damage. They are fighting, and it looks like someone went down, and I'm not sure who. Oh, they revived, but Zach does go down there. Shen, Jaina is the only one that's alive. Jaina Misfortune just comes up as Brophy is taking out that second turret, and they are fighting so hard, pushing Gilbert back as they take that Nexus. Very well played games, fought hard by Gilbert, and second game goes to Brophy. Thank you so much for joining us, you guys. It has been a phenomenal season. Making it to quarterfinals is a huge accomplishment by our very young team. We have two seniors that we're very sad to see go, but thank you for everyone for joining us, for sticking out for these 3 amazing games as we come to the end of our season. So thank you for supporting Gilbert Esports, for supporting our kids, our program. Feel free to follow us on Instagram for updates for our upcoming season and other opportunities as they come up. Once again, thank you for joining us, and go Tigers.